What is going on, everybody? Lukey Boy here, and today we're going to be doing a what is video. What is Parallel Alpha? So this is one that I have never actually bought, but I've been really interested in it, and I'll go over a couple of reasons why I haven't bought into it or anything. But ultimately, this is a project. It has a lot in the collection. If you look at, well, in terms of it has 666 items. If you go into the actual NFTs, you can see there's 1,200 owners and 56,000 of this NFT. So in terms of the amount of NFTs they have, there's a lot going on. 666 unique, but many of the same one. They might ask why, what's going on there? Well, ultimately it's a game, and it's a card game. So each of these are cards, playing cards. And if you go onto it, you can't actually see a huge amount of stuff, but they actually are used to play a game ultimately. Just like Magic the Gathering or Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh, you have many of the same card, in a series, for example. And they do release new ones every so often, and so you normally see new ones populate, at various times through the year, which obviously do certain things. So you can go ahead and see that actually a lot of these are very, very cheap. If you see, this one's $4, and obviously they're going to go all the way through up until expensive. This will sell for 360. You can see here. So this one don't think it really gives you a huge amount of information, but it's a lot of ETH, a lot of money. And again, you can see the prices here as they go down. So obviously you're going to get rarer ones that do better, and then you're going to get more simpler ones that let you play the game ultimately. Now, the reason I never actually bought into this project is for this main reason. You can actually see here, bids are getting accepted, which is quite nice. But gas is the issue with this, because you might be wanting to buy something for $4, but you might have to pay gas. Now, back in the day, maybe in the bull run, gas could be quite high. Right now, it's not too bad. So if we went and actually clicked onto this and did this, the gas, so we can see what's going on here, is $3.93. So it's about double. But in the past, gas could be 4, 5, 6 times higher than the actual NFT. To get around that, you could, in theory, look to buy bundles. Now, they recently changed the bundle section. Yep, bundles here. And you can go ahead and you can see how many are in a collection. And you could go ahead and buy basically 6 for $56. The problem is people usually add an inflated price onto this. So you'd have to go through each individual card, work out the floor price of those individual cards, and then add it up to see if it's even worth doing that. Gas will still be more than just buying one, because you're sort of buying 6, but it will be slightly cheaper. So when you normally do that, it is cheaper, but it's not one lot of gas. It is multiple, but it is cheaper. Something to be aware of. And so with the future of ETH, gas should come down drastically. Fingers crossed, if all things come to plan. And therefore, something like this would be an easier thing to be purchasing in that event. Now, what you could do, of course, is put wrapped ETH bids in. People, where you don't pay the gas at all. But again, you might have to pay over the odds potentially. It's quite difficult to say. You can see here, or you'd focus on the slightly more premium cards, so that the gas isn't a high percentage of the purchase cost. Now, again, it's not to say that these things won't go to like $12 and then you can still make profit. But when you're working with those smaller numbers, it can get a little bit fiddly and a little bit confusing. So it's just something to bear in mind. Now, not only do they, have they got money, for example, from getting the NFTs and from royalties, obviously we're in a bear market, and you want to, if you're looking at a project, you want to go, well, are they going to be around for a long time? Well, if you want to go and look in the past, they raised 500 million. Maybe they didn't raise the 500 million. They raised raises at, it looks like they got less than that. 50 million. Yeah, there we go. Because they're valued at $500 million, apparently. That's the problem. They're kind of, these companies are kind of valued at these prices, but it's just kind of like a made up number already. But, they raised 50 million ultimately, and that's what we're looking at. Because these projects, they burn through cash, right? If you're building a game like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and all that, like an online, virtual NFT game, it's going to take a lot of money and development and take time. And so they need the cash to obviously fulfill what they are trying to accomplish. And so I really love this project. It's been around for a long time, and you can get in relatively cheap entry. And if you pick up, if you did some research on this, you could definitely find some good, gem ones if you want to, kind of get what I mean. For example, you can just go onto this one. You can have a look historically at the prices, and you can get a feel for, what have they been in the past, what have they been in the future. The annoying thing is because there's a lot in the collection, you kind of got to faff around in here. And ultimately, the reason I never got involved is because of the price, and it's just very faffy, playing around with micro amounts. Really, you want to be looking up here. things that are a little bit higher in cost. You can see here, this was selling at 0.024, and now it's at 0.016. So, it's not like you couldn't make a potential gain from these. As long as the gas was very, very low, and at the moment it's pretty cheap and low anyway, so there's no massive issue there. It's just something to be, mindful of. And obviously what we can go ahead and do now is just jump over to the website so we can have a little I'm not going to go over all of this yet, we just want to have a quick look. But you can see it's a parallel, it's a vast sci-fi universe, 5 actions, and you can go ahead and download the white paper. It's something that you really need to go ahead and take time on to research. I usually would use YouTube to get like a more of an overview, and then you can go ahead and download the white paper to read into the details and the framework and how everything will interact within the ecosystem, almost like a story of how everything is going to work and run within the ecosystem of Parallel Alpha. So I'm going to leave the video there. I'm not going to go into too much more detail. I just wanted a rough and brief overview for you guys. If you ever want me to go into more detail on specific projects, of course, let me know and I can go ahead and do that. But for now, I'll leave it there and I'll see you next time. Bye.